Hi YouTube, this is Cynthia. Before I get started, I just want to let you know, I know this is a really controversial subject and I don't care. This has nothing to do with whether or not you think autism is caused by vaccines or anything like that. This is my experience and I don't really care what the statistics say or any of the pharmaceutical testing that's been done. I'm going to show you some labs that I've done for my son and what I've seen with my own eyes, and you can be the judge of whatever you want to believe after that. But I need to show, more than anything, the parents that are trying to help their children recover from autism. There are many children that actually received their autism diagnosis much earlier. Many children that actually had some damage done very early on, and so it was difficult for their parents to tell what was going on. Some children didn't really have that much damage, and so it was difficult for their parents to tell what was going on. In my case, my son Holden was thriving, and he started going downhill right after his first set of vaccines. He had blood in his stool. I couldn't eat dairy or soy while I was nursing. And then each vaccine he became successively worse. He started not being able to sleep at night, and I had to rock him vigorously to get him to sleep, unlike I'd ever done with my daughter. And everything was just much harder, and it continued to get worse and worse. He developed a screaming tic like Tourette's when he was 1, right after his MMR, and started banging his head and flapping his hands and walking on his toes, and just completely cratered by about 3 years old, where he couldn't look at us in the eye anymore. He couldn't speak anymore other than have echolalia, whereas he had been speaking in full sentences when he was 2. He was reaching all his milestones. He was a happy and very sweet boy, probably one of the sweetest children I've ever known. And then all of a sudden he became my demon spawn. My friends, one friend called him my concentration camp child because he developed a failure to thrive, even though it was feeding him like a horse. So I want you guys to know that there are a lot of different versions of autisms out there. And what it all boils down to, in my case, is that my son had damage, and the labs I'm going to show you is going to reveal what kind of damage that was. So for you parents out there who are being told that you just need to take your child home and love them, and that there's nothing that can be done, or they'll never do this, or they'll never do that. I was even told that my son had never looked me in the eye because he lost eye contact with me. He'd cover his ears when cars came by and scream incessantly. It was crazy making. There was no way to live with that, so we had to do something. And so I spent every spare moment I had when I wasn't taking care of him and working and helping my daughter to find out what was going on with him and try and get him some help. And thanks to my God, Jehovah, we were able to do that. And I have to thank my husband, ex-husband now, for helping me. Because he stayed home with our son and was very diligent about doing everything that I told him we needed to do, my son has made so many strides. So I couldn't have done it without you, Michael. Well, I guess I'll start showing y'all from the beginning in the next episode. Until then, stay tuned.